Over the last 6 months, I've purchased almost 100 products from TEMU, and so it's no surprise that based on the type of website TEMU is, that I've came across my fair share of misleading products and scams. And so in this video, I'm gonna show you all the products that I purchased that ended up being misleading or just not functioning how they are supposed to, or even just products that didn't work at all. All right, I don't wanna waste your time. I'm gonna get right into it, but if you do enjoy this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. And lastly, this video is not sponsored by TEMU or actually anybody. Every product I've ever purchased from TEMU has been with my own money, and everything I say is 100% my opinion. Okay, let's get into the first product. So this right here is a portable personal blender. You might have seen this on TEMU or ads, you know, in other places. These have been pretty popular over the last few years and went viral on TikTok a bunch and stuff like that. But either way, this is just a tiny little portable blender. This is plastic right here. You know, it's all made out of plastic. It has these little blades right here that aren't super sharp, but you know, they're still metal blades. And that's about it. It's USB rechargeable, and it's just supposed to be a portable, tiny blender. Now, I'm gonna actually show my testing video of this when I tried to use it. The liquid ended up leaking into this actual base unit itself, like into the electronics and everything. You know, somehow through a seal in there, I don't really know exactly how, but water went through all of it. It stopped working. It actually ended up working again once it dried out. Pour some ice in. Start with that. See if that works, and then let's try to blend this up. Okay, keep shutting off after just a second. Okay, it's also leaking. Yep, that's definitely dripping. Let's try this again. Okay, double tap. It's just not working now. There's also water running through, you know, the entire thing, so that could always be a part of it. There's our iced smoothie. So it works now, but it was totally soaked with water and not working. And not even to mention that before the water soaked in, when I first tried using it, the motor itself just had no power or torque to it. I mean, all in all, this is just a bad product, and you probably shouldn't buy this from TEMU at least. There might be good versions that are, you know, similar to this, these portable blenders, but at least this one from TEMU, I definitely would not recommend. All right, I wasn't gonna add these, but I'm at least gonna give them an honorable mention spot. These tweezers are absolutely terrible. This is the thinnest, easiest to bend metal. It's so difficult to even grab something without the metal just either flexing or just bending, and then whatever you're trying to grab just slips out. Even with how incredibly cheap these are, I'm still blown away by how unusable they are every time I try to pick them up. All right, next up, this is that viral, you know, cleaning gel that people use in cars and stuff. It's another product that kind of went viral on TikTok. So this actually kind of worked. I'll show you the footage I recorded of using this. It kind of worked and kind of cleaned, you know, the car and like the cup holders, and kind of worked similarly to how it does in all the videos. But it left this weird, like, I don't know how to explain it, slightly oily residue, like shiny residue on all of the car trim that it was used on. It was kind of nasty, and pair that with the fact that, you know, it didn't work super well, you know, much better than like maybe a wet paper towel would do or something like that. I just wouldn't recommend this. Okay, this one's actually charging right now. Definitely stay tuned for this because this one is actually kind of scary. This is some sort of electric massager that uses like electric shock, but it's from TEMU. So yeah, I'm kind of scared to test this, but I'm gonna actually test this on me. So stay tuned for that later on in this video. But while that's charging, these right here, these look like normal gloves, but they are definitely not. But what these are is supposedly they're cut-proof, like knife-proof gloves. And looking at the pictures and the description and everything like that, I feel like if somebody didn't know better, they could really injure themselves seeing all the pictures of these products and, you know, what they're supposed to do. I have a knife. I'm gonna go ahead and test these out and see how cut and stab proof these actually are. Now, of course, I'm not gonna do this on my hand. I'll just do it on my table here. So first of all, just pick a finger and just try to cut. All right, I put a pretty good pressure on there. It already cut through it all the way in just a few little spots. Now, most of it actually didn't cut all the way through. Look at that. I mean, you can definitely see skin already. Okay, I did the same thing. That actually didn't feel like it did a whole lot more. Look at that. All the way through. For how thick these are, that couldn't have been any more protective than just a standard pair of thick gloves like this from you know, a regular material. And like with the pictures they use and everything, I just feel like this is one of those misleading things that could injure somebody if they really trust what the pictures show and they don't look into it or test it themselves or, you know, anything like that. All right, next up, these right here are some mini Wi-Fi security cameras. Now, I actually talked about these in one of my previous videos if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down in the description. But these just kind of suck. I mean, their batteries literally don't last. As soon as you unplug it, the battery dies after a minute or two. So I have to be plugged in all the time. One of them I couldn't even really get to work. Also on this one, the magnet like broke off of the mount just from sitting there. It just kind of fell off. And all in all, these are just not very good products. You're also, to use these, you have to put in like your IP address for your Wi-Fi to connect these, and then that's a whole scary thing on its own, you know, that you're putting this information and your location on this app. Long story short, I kind of talked about these more in my other video, but I would not recommend purchasing these at all because of all those reasons. They just kind of suck. All right, next up, these might also be something you've seen in another video. These are some Apple Watches from TEMU. Now, these actually look pretty similar to the real thing, and again, I talked about these more in my other video about these, but the thing is, all of the sensors on these, the heart rate, the blood pressure, stuff like that, are just random numbers. They're not real. None of the other apps really work. I mean, the stopwatch works, the calculator works, and the time kind of works. But I really don't like how all the sensors and blood pressure and heart rate and everything are just fake made up numbers on this. But they still give you the number and act like it's a real number. And I just think that can also be really dangerous for somebody that might think this is real. And then they'll check their heart rate or, you know, whatever it is and see that it's totally normal because it just gives, you know, an average normal number. So either way, because of that, I wouldn't recommend buying these fake Apple Watches from TEMU. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, last up is actually this electric massager. I believe it is done charging now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and test this on my arm here. So I'm gonna peel these pads off and it kind of sticks to your skin, I believe. Okay, now before I even do this, I wanna make a disclaimer. Do not try this at home. This is a really bad idea. Sketchy, cheap electronics that literally put electric pulses into your body is not a good idea. So do not do this at home. But also maybe like and subscribe. Now I think you're supposed to do this like on your neck or something like that. Honestly, I don't want to get this anywhere near, you know, my heart or my brain or something like that. So I'm just gonna do it on my arm. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this on. And there's all these different types of things you can do. I guess I'm gonna do massage. Okay. Please do not do this, please. I'm not doing this right now, and this is on 1. This goes up to 15. I promise you I was not moving my arm right there. Please do not buy that. Like and subscribe.